very much to Coleridge's poems, those great conversation poems like Frost at Midnight, or the Lime Tree Bower, My Prison, or the ode, one of the odes. And I find actually lots of Keats in here. I steal from Keats shamelessly, or at least I borrow, if that's the thing, or steal, whatever. And it seems to me that the meditation, the poem going on, and as it goes on, finding more to say, as it were.
New connections.
Yeah, new connections, and winding and meandering a little bit. I like to do that. I find that to be satisfying, and to be not unlike what painting does, to enter the moment of a possible revelation. Call it that,
Well, you talk about the moment bursting with possibility. I think I'm ruining the phrase. But there is this reverence in your poetry for each moment, for the world.
Okay.
Really.
Reverence you want to back away from, because you're right.
Sorry.
No, it is that. But I wouldn't admit
Gratitude.
to it. I wouldn't admit. Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, the attempt to say in the midst of things that are tricky, that things are also there, and in being there, that is a sort of that the force of their being there is itself a positive. I think poetry is a kind of antithesis to war, for example. I think language is the antithesis of violence, and so I think poetry is the sort of holding of language up to its best possibility, holding it up to its best self, is it's a good thing. That's if poems have any use. I mean, Auden says poetry makes nothing happen. Okay, it makes nothing happen, but it has a use. It is something, and he says that too. It is a way of being in the world without violence, trying to find the world as a place for life, for
with
living.
all its complexities. That
No
one
question.
moment,
Yeah.
the clematis is dying, and then it comes to life again, and this one moment bursts with its opposites in some sense.
I think as a sort of lapsed Catholic, the presence of incarnational transcendence, you might say, the presence of possible getting beyond, getting into that's where light comes in again. The presence of getting into the condition that goes beyond the mere palpable, not the mere palpable, the fully palpable, and at the same time absorbs that, doesn't reject it, doesn't. That's what the difficulty of transcendence might be, that it kind of rejects the actual. But no, it's the actual taken up, embraced, so that we can see it for all of its things. I think there are halos around everything, if you like. That might be the reference.
That's the feeling that I get, is that you look at something in its matter, and then you use it as a window into something very wide and transcendent.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope for it. Again, transcendence, who knows, but the sort of the physical is there, and I think its there-ness is its own possible achievement, and its own possible assertion. So, affirmation. I think that's what we're looking for. Yeah.
I was hoping you'd read a poem, End of Winter.
Oh, right. Okay, this is an early poem, actually, quite early. I think it was in the first book I wrote, about 400 years ago. And it is again an illustration. I suppose that some of the poems do that for something very large, that you have, you approach it, love, sex, death, you approach it slightly with an oblique way, even like the clematis is a way into, like you say, transcendence. It's the kind of Dickinson thing. And here are two, a big thing and a small thing brought together. It's called End of Winter. I spent the morning my father died catching flies. They'd buzz and hum against the warm, illuminated pane of the living room window. Breathless, my hand would butterfly behind them and cup their fear in my fist, their filament wings tickling the soft centre of my palm. With my left hand I unlatched the window and opened my right wide in the sunshine. They'd spin for a second like stunned ballerinas, then off with them, tiny hearts rattling like dice, recovered from the fright of their lives. I watch each one spiral the astonishing green world of grass and drift between the grey branches of the ash. I see each quick dark shadow smudge the rinsed and springing earth that shone beyond belief all morning. There must have been at least a dozen I saved like that with my own hands through the morning when they shook off sleep in every corner of the living room.
Yeah, that's a stunning poem. And it's stunning because you only mention your father's death in the first 2 lines. I spent the morning my father died catching flies.
Right.
And those 2 little rhymes sort of told me as a reader, pay attention to this. And then the whole rest is about catching these flies and their transformation. It's very beautiful.
It is what I'm saying about the oblique, I suppose, in the sense that you do the ordinary within the context of the extraordinary. But you can't concentrate on the extraordinary and try to describe it. You invest yourself. So I think you're right. Once I've said that in the first line, everything else starts to shimmer with a different sort of possibility from its purely physical fact.
Absolutely. And it was the same in The Search. You described the clematis and then the importance of the father takes on a whole meaning from having the literal.
That's true. I think that's the way poems work. I mean, that's the way we want poems to work anyway.
Well, yours do. Yours do. I wanted to ask you to read Staying in Bed.
Okay. This is from, we've had death, now we've got sex.
Yeah, you see?
It's no harm.
It's good movement, better movement.
It's a better movement. It's true.
Better than the
yes, I've lost it here, I think. Okay, just have to look in the, do you remember the, okay, all right. Okay, yes, okay, sorry about that. It's just, okay, it was here all the time. Staying in bed, we lay all morning talking. The window brightens November grey to knife-edge blue, where Sunday becomes itself, all bells without us. The air flickers, blinks, riddled with starling shadows, or the brusque, impulsive blobs of sparrows flung by hunger. This one touch of winter makes us face a few home truths. We have to enter the cold zone, naked, sleepwalker steady. Our slow voices cross the little space between us. Companionable, our bodies stretch. Our sex idles, half asleep, a summer stream flooding with fern-light green as early wheat. Such peace. We could be dreaming away each other's past, digesting hard facts.
I love those last 2 lines. This is a poem that I use when I teach at Manhattanville and SUNY, because I don't know if anyone heard it on a first reading. I certainly didn't till the 4th, 5th, maybe even 6th. It's a perfect sonnet. Mm-hmm. And to be able to rhyme like that is